Hey y'all, welcome to Night Combos. It's Lovey here. Hubby's already went to bed. He's got work in the morning. But y'all, I wanted to talk about a few main topics and a few serious topics in this video and get y'all's thoughts and opinions. And along the way, I'll kind of give y'all what our thoughts and opinions were when we seen it. Starting with the post that GYPSY made earlier today. Some of you may have seen it on our community page on our YouTube channel. What she has said about parole, also about her being something sidle. Y'all get what I'm saying? We're going to get into all that. And mainstream media flipping on GYPSY, along with some messages that got released from GYPSY in the last few days. So we're going to talk about all that. Real quick though, if you're not already, please make sure you subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our videos, all of the things, and we would greatly appreciate it so very much. And please, y'all, leave your thoughts and opinions about all of this that we talk about in the comment section down below, and we'll be conversating with y'all like always. We truly appreciate it. I've truly appreciated seeing y'all's comments and messages to me and to hubby. They've been so supportive and kind and sweet. And I never expected to get so much love and kindness and support in return. I knew that the family we built here was amazing, but I don't know, I guess I just never expected that in return. So thank y'all again so much for that. And thank you so much to all of our subscribers that's been with us from the very beginning. And to all of our new subscribers, welcome. We truly appreciate having you as a part of our family and channel. We honestly do. Okay, before we jump in though, y'all look at this clip right here. Y'all take a look at what hubby and I thought was absolute fakery in this video clip that GYPSY posted a couple of days ago, where she wrote at the bottom, when you find out with the rest of the world, rings, question mark, question mark, question mark, is there something I don't know, question mark, dot, dot, dot. Y'all look how she acts in this video and see if y'all think it's real or not. Okay, I had to mute it right there because it's just simply music playing in the background. But y'all see all these faces she's making? Like, you filmed the show. You knew that this was coming. You knew that this scene was coming. Not only that, but you also know whether or not you were engaged or not. You know whether or not you're engaged or not. But also, don't y'all think that the cameras would have just flipped straight to the engagement rings for drama? I mean, it shows Ken walking, and this is the ending of her previous episode. And on the finale, coming this Monday, it shows Ken where he's walking into, it shows him giving her an ultimatum, which we're about to go over, and why she may be acting all these different ways and claiming all these different things and making up all these different excuses. But it shows him walking in a jewelry store, and they're like, hi there, how are you? And he's like, good. And then immediately the cameras flash to just one case of a few engagement rings. When you go into a jewelry store, they have like a whole section of engagement rings, not just one little thing of them. But that's what the cameras did. Do y'all think they just did that for drama and he came in here maybe to buy her a necklace, a bracelet, earrings, maybe just to look at rings, but didn't buy yet? What are y'all's thoughts on this? Here's a few of the comments from the video. Somebody saying they left us with a cliffhanger, LOL. And GYPSY said, right? Someone said, I'd be mad to see that on TV without knowing. But then again, this is recorded way in advance. So, are you engaged? And of course, GYPSY doesn't answer. Now, if a lot of y'all may remember, in a video a few months ago, we showed y'all, it was right before her season started, we showed y'all a clip of her being at the dentist, and she had a yellow gold diamond ring on her finger, and a lot of people thought it was Ryan's ring that he gave her, but it wasn't. And then we showed y'all the difference in the ring that Ryan gave her versus the ring she had on. And then a lot of you thought she probably went out and bought that for herself, which is a huge possibility. I could absolutely see GYPSY doing that. But again, what do y'all think? Y'all think Ken really done this? Because I don't. I think they done it for drama sake. I really do. But someone said, Ken is smart. He knows that changing your last name will be the way to change the name of Aurora's birth certificate to add his name as the father. Okay, no, you don't need a ring to do that, and you don't have to be married to do that. But GYPSY replied with, her name is already changed on the birth certificate with him as the father. He doesn't need to marry me for that. I guess trying to put it out there like, he must just be wanting to marry me. Someone else said, propose to her now. It's overdue. And GYPSY wrote several red hearts with clapping hands, LOL. But GYPSY, not that long ago, you were saying that you didn't want to rush into another marriage. But but you're acting like he needs to hurry up and ask you to marry him. Like, I don't get it. You've been knowing about this episode. You've been knowing about this scene. Y'all can see her up there at the top doing her bad acting. Here's Dreamer for you. Dreamer, the old lady that, and I'm not trying to be mean by saying that at all. I'm not, I promise. But that she is the oldest lady. Maybe I should say it that way. She's the oldest lady that sits on GYPSY's BFF Bree's panel, which we're going to get to in just a second. And we're even going to get to Dreamer saying something in just a second. But sitting up on Bree's panel all of the time, day and night, and then literally will go to her page and make videos of exactly what Bree just said, like she's a mockingbird or something. It's ridiculous. But Dreamer wrote in the comments, we all know what that for GYPSY. We all know what that for GYPSY. Okay, Dreamer. I don't know what you mean there, but okay, sure. And then someone wrote, GYPSY, he might be proposing to you. You deserve it, Queen, and all that. This Queen mess is getting old, in my opinion. Oh my gosh, y'all, before I go any further, I truly apologize, but I meant to say thank you so much. I truly apologize. I'm so very sorry. Thank you so much to Wanderlust 28810. It's Wanderlust 2810 for the super thanks. And also, we got a super thanks from a previous video, and this person let us know that we could give them a shout out if I wanted to. It was just whatever I wanted to do. But of course, we want to thank y'all if y'all want to have a shout out. But the other person, and I hope I'm saying this right, was Eva Lang. Thank you two so much for the super thanks. Hubby and I truly appreciate that so much. And Hubby wanted to be a part of this video to be able to say thank you, because it really means a lot to both of us. It honestly does. But he had to go to bed. But I'm so sorry to interrupt the video, but I did have to say that real quick. Thank you so very much to you two. That truly means so much to us from the bottom of our hearts. We're so grateful for it. And I truly apologize I didn't say that at the very beginning. Okay, so back to the video. This is that clip that wouldn't play in our recap video, which is fine. I'm about to play it for y'all now. I'm just going to have to tell y'all verbatim what was actually said during this video. And it was at the end of the last episode. So it starts out showing GYPSY talking to producers. And I'm going to read it as the video plays so y'all can see how Gypsy and Ken both are acting and know what they're saying. So I'm literally just I'm reading it, I swear, verbatim, word for word. So Gypsy says, Ken gave me an ultimatum that if I meet with Ryan, he's going to move back to Texas and file for custody. Ken says, we're dragging Aurora through the mud on this when she doesn't need to be. If she really wanted to go have this closure meeting, Aurora's not going to be there, and he crosses his arms. Then Gypsy says, Ryan's ultimatum to me was either meet with me or she stays in Anderson forever. Does he have a right to her or not? And then it shows Ken saying, I'll catch a charge, that's for sure. And then Gypsy saying, let's just all calm down, okay? We can all be civil and be adults about this. And that's after Ken says, I'll catch a charge for my kid, that's for sure. Okay, so this is the picture that a lot of you may have seen on our community page earlier, where Gypsy posted starting May 16th, which is tomorrow, for 30 days. I'm on a social media detox, call or text. And then she's got the song Bye 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 by NSYNC playing. Now, she posted that on her stories, and then she went on to post an actual video with this on it. This was the picture, and it says, here is a breakdown of my 30-day social media detox. Like and share to join my trend. Gypsy, this is not a trend. You are not starting anything new. Get over yourself. People detox from social media all the time. They take a break and step back all the time. Now, to hubby and I, some of these sounded like rules versus things that Gypsy came up with to do. But y'all let us know y'all's thoughts, because Gypsy has been talking in her comment section about content creators calling her parole officer out of harassment. Yeah. Gypsy, nothing's being done out of harassment. It's being done out of you breaking parole and the law. A federal law at that. You remember the video you done about Ryan? Remember that? Yeah. And the post you made? Yeah, that too. Anyway, y'all listen to these few things that Gypsy listed and let us know if y'all think that they sound more like rules that she was given, or do they sound like something Gypsy came up with on her own? And keep in mind, she has only 30-something days left on parole. So number 1, turn off notifications. Number 2, let your friends know that you will only respond to messages via text or phone call. Number 3, do not read or respond via DM. Number 4, do not be in the comment sections of your videos or the comment sections of other people's videos. Number 5, do not respond to negative comments, DMs, or other forms of messages. Do not watch videos of creators sharing idle gossip. Number 7, when you feel the urge to open the app and scroll, leave your phone on the table and go for a 15-minute walk. Number 8, inform your family and friends that you do not wish to hear about any drama taking place on social media. And number 9, post your content and ghost the app. So make your post and then don't look at the app anymore. Number 10, the last thing, enjoy the real world because you only have one life and it's worth seeing its potential. Now, some of those sounded like rules and some of them sounded like something Gypsy might have come up with. What are y'all's thoughts? So talking about the video she done about Ryan, I wanted us to take a look at this article right here. And we're not going to go over the whole article, just a part of it. It starts out saying Gypsy Rose Blanchard cries as she calls out ex-Ryan Anderson for sharing their, quote, sacred text in emotional video. It wasn't an emotional video. It was a manipulative video. But People Magazine's kind of calling her out a little bit here, and TMZ did as well. The article starts out by saying, there are very few people I trust in the world. I have always counted you as one of them, Blanchard told her ex-husband in a TikTok clip, which we showed y'all that video, which GYPSY has now deleted off of her TikTok. But Ryan still has the text messages that GYPSY sent him up on his TikTok. Good for you, Ryan. Stand your ground. The article goes on to say GYPSY Rose Blanchard is calling out her ex-husband Ryan Scott Anderson for sharing their private messages, saying she thought the texts between the pair were, quote, sacred. In an emotional TikTok video shared on Monday, May 5th, Blanchard, 33, appeared to reference some texts that she'd sent her ex in January of this year, a couple of weeks after welcoming her daughter Aurora with boyfriend Ken Urker. Anderson recently posted a grab of the messages on TikTok, which appeared to show Blanchard admitting, "I feel lost, like I don't know what is real anymore," after questioning whether he was with Amber J, seemingly referencing the content creator. "I speak the truth. Always have. Only be real," Anderson captioned the post. Blanchard began in her clip this week, "This video is going to be for Ryan Anderson, and if you're not Ryan Anderson, then keep scrolling. But I know y'all watch, and that's okay. But this video is not for y'all, it's for him." This is a text that Ken sent to Christy on Mother's Day, which gives us the thought that he probably was not with GYPSY on Mother's Day. And remember, GYPSY unfollowed Ken, and admittedly, it was out of pettiness, her being petty. She unfollowed Ken on Instagram the day before Mother's Day, and then she said immediately that night she resent a request to him to start following him again. Also, Christy unfollowed him as well. But both of them were still following Ryan Anderson. Why is that? So all that's going on, along with her being at Jazz Fest with Ken, and instead of having fun with Ken, she was worried about making a video to Ryan saying that he has spiraled out of control, like she's in this weird new voice of hers, and saying that he needs to see a therapist. Really, GYPSY? GYPSY, we have not seen Ryan spiral out of control, y'all, and he could. Think about all the things he has held on to and how long he has held on to them. All for her. All out of being nice to GYPSY. He could really let some things go if he really wanted to, but he doesn't. And you want to say he's spiraling out of control and then do this stupid little apology video where you blame him the whole entire time the next day or a couple days later and then delete the video? You never meant that apology, GYPSY. And now that all this is coming out and that People Magazine and TMZ and mainstream media is calling her out, she's wanting to claim that now she had postpartum depression and was something sidle. And I'm not saying it that way to make fun by no means at all whatsoever. I just have to be safe here on YouTube. There's safe words you have to use with certain things. So it starts with Sue and it ends with sidle. Y'all get it. Okay. So from here on out, I'm just going to say sidle when I need to say that word. But GYPSY is now saying that she wanted to self-delete, okay, and that she had postpartum depression. The baby just turned 4 months old, allegedly, according to GYPSY. This really has pissed us off that she is claiming these things. That is just like her claiming abuse and child abuse and child essay and all of those things when it never happened to her. And all the proof and evidence point to it never happened to her. And then you have real victims out here of this stuff that you want to just claim because you don't know how to behave on social media or in society, period, GYPSY. And I know you're hearing this. Okay, I'm trying not to make this video too terribly long for y'all, But y'all take a listen at what TMZ's podcast had to say about GYPSY and her little spiraling out of control, becoming unhinged, literally right before our eyes. She's done it before, and every time she wants to blame someone else or blame something else. Every time. GYPSY, is this your last card to play? This Seidel card? This, oh, I had postpartum depression and didn't know it, and I'm Seidel. I want to self-delete. Is that the last card you have to play to get attention? Is that why you're doing this, Gypsy Rose Blanchard? Let us know, because we know you're listening, so let us know. We all want to know. Is that why you're doing this? Because that is a very, very serious thing that a lot of women deal with, postpartum depression. Also, self-deleting is a very serious thing that a lot of people deal with. But we'll talk about that and look at a few comments and stuff in just a second. Y'all listen to this. Sorry y'all, but it really seems like this is like her last card to play to get attention. You know, GYPSY, like the video that you sent Nick of Damona telling him, I'll use the only card I have against you, GYPSY. Remember that video? Yeah. If you don't, look it up in our previous video. Matter of fact, you could probably Google it. But go look at that video if you don't remember it. But you remember though, right, GYPSY? You remember that video, right? Good. Glad you do. So is that what you're doing here? Are you playing your last card that you have to get attention?
Really, it's Gypsy Rose Blanchard. So if y'all have been on TikTok in the last couple of days, you have seen Gypsy Rose has completely lost it. I don't even know if unhinged is the word to describe this.
It's sad at this point. We'll explain why, but it's a lot.
Gypsy Rose is crashing out. Also, Justin Bieber.
Okay. So
like we.
Justin Bieber. Chip.
When I was scrolling.
Yeah, please tell them how we found this story, please.
As we're scrolling through TikTok over the weekend and early Monday morning, I think we were all a little shocked to see Gypsy Rose start a TikTok video, and the first thing she said in the TikTok video was this.
So this video is going to be for Ryan Anderson, and if you're not Ryan Anderson, then keep scrolling.
So immediately I go, what the?
First of all, and then she goes, anyone who's not Ryan Anderson, scroll past. I go, I am not.
I am not scrolling.
I respectfully, I am never.
Not only am I not scrolling, I'm saving it right now in case you delete it.
And then she made like a snarky comment to watch.
So, Gypsy Rose, seemingly out of nowhere, dropped this video trashing Ryan Anderson, and we'll play the video so you can hear it. And I say seemingly out of nowhere because I didn't realize that the reason why Gypsy Rose dropped this video is because Ryan Anderson leaked over the weekend text messages that he got from Gypsy Rose.
Listen,
why is that important, Steph?
It's important because, first of all, she's with Kevin.
Ken got a whole man, literally just had a baby.
And I didn't even know they were in contact.
Gypsy Rose, if y'all don't remember, when she first got out of jail, she was with Ryan Anderson.
Right.
And then she left Ryan Anderson and got with the guy Ken Urker. Now she has a baby by Ken Urker. Her and Ken Urker over the weekend was like at festivals, hanging out, chilling.
PDA videos on her TikTok.
Only for us to find out that she was actively texting Ryan Anderson at the same time, allegedly, even though we saw the text messages.
Yes. I want to highlight as well, she made sure to sound extra manipulative in this video by saying, like, you know, I'm always going to be there for you. Like, me and you can't be in contact anymore. I was going through a hard time with postpartum. That could all be true. And, like, she needed some support and Ken wasn't there. But at the same time, I think this is a shock to Ken, to the world. How are they if you would have told me, are they in contact?
That's why we think there's a little bit of trouble in paradise going on between Gypsy and Ken. And I don't think he's going to be proposing. That's our guess. That's our opinions. But what do y'all think?
I'd be like, no, there's no way.
All right. So for the people that did not, you guys aren't watching on YouTube and you're listening on like Spotify, Apple, the text to Ryan Anderson. This is Gypsy to Ryan. She says, I feel so lost. Like, I don't know what's real anymore. And that was before she asked, are you with Amber J? What does that got to do with anything? Like, why are you texting
Even
an
if he
ex-man
was.
asking if he got a new girlfriend?
She wants both, and that's what all the comments are saying. I'm just saying what the comments are saying. She wants both.
It didn't make no sense. Like,
Someone said it's giving. She's not happy with Ken.
and obviously we don't know, but like, if you are in a relationship and you're happy, you are not looking back.
Talking about your ex.
Come on.
Talking about or talking to?
And then asking him like, "Oh, are you dating this girl Amber J?" Why does that matter, bro?
Even if I was.
None of your business. Well, Ryan leaked the text messages, and that's what sent Gypsy over the edge. Here's a little bit more of Gypsy's. I don't even know if we can call it a rant.
Crash out.
Crash out.
But whenever you put out text messages between you and I that I think are sacred, that should, in my opinion...
But you didn't mind putting out text messages between you and Ryan of him simply saying, I like that you went back to your brunette hair. I like your original hair. I've always thought you were pretty. Just something simple as that. You gave them over to your BFF Bree, and you didn't mind that she was posting them to the whole entire world. Something, remember? You just said it. That was supposed to be what, Gypsy? Sacred? Yeah. Bullshit, Gypsy.
and be sacred between us. And when I mean sacred, I mean that there are very few people I trust in this world. And I have always counted you as one of them.
This is a damn mess. This is a damn mess. My favorite part of this video is when she... Go ahead. Go.
Okay, my favorite part of the video is when she says, listen, I'm not going to release any more details about you. I'm going to be like, basically say, I'm going to be good. So, can you stop releasing things about me? Because I felt safe, and like now I don't feel safe.
She literally goes, whenever you put out our text messages... I can't do the Gypsy. Whenever you put out our text messages, I think that she thinks are sacred. I'm confused. You got a whole man.
And a baby.
And a nothing that you and Ryan Anderson got to talk about is sacred.
We're all for being sensitive for postpartum women. That has nothing to do with reaching out to your ex.
Mm-mm.
I don't know how that would help in any way.
Mm-mm. So Gypsy Rose, I guess she saw all the hate she was getting online.
She got caught red-handed.
Like,
what I want to know is what is
Ken thinking right now?
I think he knows she's a little like... I could see this from a mile away. I think Ryan Anderson... Okay, guys, for background really quick. Ken and Gypsy had like a romance while she was in jail. It ended terribly. He like kind of fucked her over, whatever. She gets out of jail. She's married. She eventually gets married to Ryan Anderson. Mm-hmm. Everything's peachy. But then she goes, wait, Ken Erker. Mm-hmm. And Ken wanted her back. She dumps Ryan and gets back with Ken. Now, for context, Ken is more like aloof, I would say. Like Ryan posted her 24/7. In the show, he's really like over the top lovey. They're just different guys.
Right.
So I get the vibe that like she got Ken and she's like, wait, like he is like not obsessed with me.
Like not as obsessed with her as Ryan was. Because Ryan was like worshiping the ground. Gypsy walked away. And
was crying on live stream. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think she's yeah.
Want that old thing back?
Right. Or she just like doesn't want him to be with some, like the attention to be.
Right. Because then you know he's a good like man and now he's giving all that good loving to Amber J.
Here's what I have to say.
I
don't know, but I looked her up and...
Please, we'll get there later, next week.
Okay.
Anyway.
First things first, is it okay to talk to an ex in a flirty way when you're in a relationship?
Okay, that was basically the gist of what they were saying about Gypsy. But it's funny that TMZ is now calling out Gypsy when she was able to call TMZ anytime she left the house and say, hey, I'm going to be at this place at this time. Come follow me. Come take my picture. Come look at me at the airport. Come ask me questions. You know, all of that. And they were, you know, following her around just like People Magazine. Now she's getting called out by them. And now y'all look at these messages between Gypsy and another person. So the messages we're about to look at is in reference to this post that Gypsy made right here several days ago saying postpartum depression awareness. You are not alone and are doing a good job. Postpartum depression is a serious mental health condition that can occur after childbirth, characterized by intense sadness, anxiety, and other symptoms that persist for more than 2 weeks. Remember, the baby is only 4 months old, just turned 4 months old, allegedly, according to GYPSY. It differs from the, quote, baby blues, which are temporary mood shifts that usually resolve within a couple of weeks. If you're experiencing symptoms like persistent sadness, loss of interest in activities, changes in appetite or sleep, or difficulty bonding with your baby, it's important to seek professional help. And then it goes on to explain it even more. And GYPSY wrote at the bottom, "Thank you for watching my journey in tonight's episode." So we were tagged in these messages right here between GYPSY and another person, and we were also sent these messages. But y'all can see right here, this little picture right here, which was GYPSY's postpartum depression post, and this pissed us off so doggone bad, y'all have no idea, okay? Y'all can see what it says up here at the top. GYPSY admits to being suicidal. Okay, so the person wrote, you said a few months back you didn't have PPD, postpartum depression, on a live with Bree. She did say that on a live with Bree. She also said it on one of her own lives, sitting in the bathroom at Christy and Rod's house. The person goes on to say, but now you acted crazy, you're blaming PPD? It's actually offensive to the women that truly suffer from the things you claim as an excuse to being a bad person. Just take accountability and say you effed up, with 2 mad face emojis. This is GYPSY's response, and this also shows how she can't let things go, because she literally sent several responses. So GYPSY wrote back to this person, or it says message request accepted, and GYPSY wrote back to this person, you said a few months, that's what the person said to GYPSY. GYPSY wrote back, because when I was going through it, I didn't see it. But looking back, I even lied on my PPD exam when it asked was I having thoughts of self-deleting. I checked, no, but I actually was. So yes, I was going through it, but never wanted to seem weak and honestly didn't think I was. Right there in that first message, to us it seemed like she just told on herself. So she tried to claim first that she didn't know she had postpartum depression, which, okay, that could actually be true. We are talking about GYPSY Rose Blanchard here, though, so you have to look into things a little deeper. That could actually be true that she didn't know she had postpartum depression or PPD. But then she turned around and said, I purposely checked no on having thoughts of self-deletion, and I didn't want to seem weak, and honestly didn't think that I did seem weak. GYPSY went on to write, looking back, I now see that I was struggling really bad, but I wanted to and felt the need to be strong and perfect. Never let anyone see any weaknesses, so only post the happy shoot. Make like I'm okay. Well, guess I didn't hide it as well as I thought. Could that be why she's going on this social media break? I'm about to get back to the postpartum in just 1 second. But could that be why? Or could it be because of parole? GYPSY posted a video the other day showing her literally just throwing some sweaters into a cardboard box, saying that she had 5 weeks left of parole and that she was packing up so that she could move in with Ken. Well, she didn't say that she was moving in with Ken. She just said so that she could move. You see here in the comments of that video, somebody said, congratulations, parole is hard to do. GYPSY writes back, bruh. Even more so when you have content creators calling your PO falsely reporting you out of harassment. GYPSY Rose Blanchard, is it out of harassment or is it out of being a concerned member of society, knowing that you already unalived one person, took another person's life by putting them in prison for the rest of their life, and literally breaking parole and the law constantly? which we're going to get to Gypsy's actual words on this here in just a second and what ideas she has for content. Now, we showed y'all this picture that Ryan Anderson said that Gypsy sent him and showed producers that Gypsy sent him a few weeks after the baby was born. She's been talking to Ryan this entire time. I promise y'all, we can let y'all know that without a doubt. Yes, she has been messaging with Ryan this entire time. Since the time she left him all the way to now, she has been in contact with Ryan. There's only been a few months that they didn't have contact. Ryan showed this picture right here, which you can tell it's Gypsy laying in the bed with baby Aurora on her chest, and it looks like Gypsy is just waking up, like her eyes are barely open. That's a huge issue because could she have postpartum depression? Because Ken literally dropped Gypsy off back at her house in Cutoff with her dad Rod and Christy after a visit at his house, and he was dropping Gypsy and baby Aurora off, and he sat down for a few minutes, and he got up, he leaned over to Gypsy to give her a hug, sit in a chair. She didn't even stand up to hug him back, which I don't get, but hey, that's just me. I always stand up to hug hubby, hello, or goodbye, or whatever. Anyway, he leaned over to give her a hug. She barely hugged him back because Ken had said, now don't fall asleep with Aurora on your chest again. Gypsy said, I know, I've never done that. I know not to do that. I've never done that before. Ken called her out on camera. He called her out and said, Gypsy, you just did it last night. And she said, oh, well, yeah, that's because she was laying on my chest. What? Exactly. That's why he had just told you, don't fall asleep with her on your chest. Listen, I know a lot of people lay in the bed with their babies and things like that, but it is so dangerous to fall asleep with your baby in the bed with you, period. It is. I mean, let's be honest, it's very dangerous. Gypsy does not need to be having Aurora in the bed with her. She's already dangerous enough. I mean, she doesn't need to add to it. Okay, I want y'all to take a listen to Gypsy explaining herself a little bit, and then we'll go into this a little bit more before we end the video.
I was petty.
And by the way, this is her BFF Bree, and it's Bree's Live on TikTok, and you got Dreamer up here in the top corner. You know, Dreamer, the one we were just talking about a few minutes ago. Double Standards, Rogie, Sheena, which has been in pictures with Bree at Christy's house, Gypsy, and Jeanette. The same old people that are always on her panel. That's their little group. That's the minions. The literal, mindless, in our opinions, brainless minions that can't think for themselves, that don't think for themselves, that would literally follow Gypsy into a door that has cult written all over it, and drink the Kool-Aid and be gone the next day. Literally. They can't think for themselves. But let's hear what Gypsy has to say.
So I unfriended him, but I friended him right back. And people are like, oh my God, they broke. I was petty, so I unfriended him, but I friended him right back. And people are like, oh my God, they broke up. No, we didn't break up.
Something people do all the time.
I'm petty. People do that all the time. Like, somebody was like, yeah, I did that to my sister one time. And I'm like, yeah, like, people do it. It's just, you're in a petty mood. So you're like, I'm going to unfriend you on Facebook or whatever. Like, but then you're like, send that request that night.
I'm going to say the same thing that I wrote this to Ken. I'm not going to say verbatim, but I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if he showed you. But, you know, when y'all were, you know, just going through this, I know it can be hard. So I just kind of wanted to encourage him. And I said, you know, we have, like, decades, like 20 years on you when it comes to experience, hands-on, in-person experience in relationships. It's not, no matter what people want to say, and I even told them, it might sound like an excuse, but it's true, it's reality. Like, being in prison.
Bree had to tell Bree had to tell Ken that sounded like an excuse, because it does. Because she was having relationships with men way before she unalived her mom, and then found Nick and was having a relationship with him. She also had sexual relationships with these men, online and in person. Like, be so freaking for real. You may have 20-something years on GYPSY, but no, I don't believe anybody has 20 years on GYPSY. Nobody is old enough, no matter how old you are, nobody is old enough to have 20 years on GYPSY as far as relationships go. I mean, she was even having relationships in prison.
Or living with your mom and having a relationship over the online is not the same as in person.
Did y'all hear that? Or living with your mom and having relationships online. Bree just admitted and told on GYPSY again that, which she's done so many times now, that GYPSY was actually having relationships with men online while living with her mom. Bree, how are you going to explain that one? You've been saying this whole time she was never allowed to see men and she wasn't really having relationships online with men. But you just said it. Please tell me y'all heard that. Like, that's crazy.
Being in prison or living with your mom and having a relationship over the online is not.
Y'all heard that?
Not the same as in person, like hands-on in a relationship. I was like, me and you, we have 20 years plus of experience. GYPSY doesn't. So I know that y'all will make it through anything. I was like, but just try to remember that, and be patient. And I was like, I know that some of the best parts of GYPSY is because of you. A lot of her growth has come because of you. Y'all lucky to have each other, I just wanted to encourage him, because I know the people online can be so just disgusting, but that's so true. And I was explaining that in the live the other day, like the mistakes that you're going to make in your relationship are mistakes that we all made years ago. Like, I mean, and some of us still make them. I mean, being in a relationship.
But you're encouraging her to be petty and saying that it is normal and that a lot of people, everybody unfollows their significant other after getting mad at them. No. Maybe kids in junior high do. But no, people don't normally do that. That's not a normal thing you do with your significant other. You don't just go and unfollow them on all social media because you got mad and you're wanting to be petty. By the way, this was posted by XOXO on TikTok.
Relationship in person is not the same as being in a relationship long distance or on the phone or in prison. It's not. And I think you're doing a great job. You're being transparent, you're being honest, and that's what's most important for y'all. And you took the initiative to be in counseling, and therapy, just to always, because that's great. Therapy's good.
Literally a few times, and they haven't been back since. Have y'all heard of them being in therapy since? We haven't, no.
No matter how well your relationship's going or not. So,
right.
I'll say,
relationships take work.
You are just, your feet barely hit the pavement, or you're barely getting your toes in the water. Like, you're gonna learn from both of y'all. You're gonna learn from your mistakes, but especially you, since this is your, you've been a year and 4 months.
Yeah.
How many times does it take for someone to learn to stop acting like a child? How many times? She's had her whole life, plus the time she was in prison and the time she's been out of prison. How many times is it going to take before GYPSY finally learns? And before y'all finally learn and actually use your own brains and quit following her and stop giving her excuses?
She don't cheat on you, and everybody calm down.
Her background.
Cupcake, we don't allow goofy people in here. Goodbye, gone, pecan.
I sent Ken a text message last night, and
she does that every time she kicks out someone out of the live. Gone pecan. That's exactly what y'all would be. Gone pecan if y'all follow her right into that cult door and drink the Kool-Aid. Gone pecan. So there you go, Bree.
I was like, I thanked him for, being strong and, being by my side through this season of, not season of the show, but season of my life where I feel like I'm going through a prolonged, latent adolescent stage where it's like, yeah, I'm kind of immature, I clap back, I'm snarky, I'm sassy, I'm fiery.
Girl, we got people in their 70s doing that on his app.
But Bree, that's Gypsy. That's kind of normal.
You know? So
I
I'm
mean,
like,
Dreamer makes her videos.
You didn't get to, when we were kids, we had friends outside. We went to school. We did this. We did that. We mature. We learned the do's and don'ts of society. You didn't get.
Gypsy did too. But yeah, her mom had to take her out of school because she was constantly so sick. And when she wasn't sick, she was telling her mom that she was sick in order to get that attention. So be so for real. Her mom, Dee Dee, ended up being so afraid of Gypsy that it's ridiculous. Gypsy knows what she's doing out here in society. Yeah, she's a narcissist and she has narcissistic personality disorder. She sure does. Her own doctor that examined her, Dr. Westerman, had even said that she has personality disorder and she's a narcissist, so come on.
That.
Preach, Dreamer.
That's what people don't understand.
Period.
I said this yesterday on panel, Gypsy, and it's worth saying again. I don't believe you was in prison for 8.5 years. I believe you was in prison for 30-something years of your life, and it's very sad.
what?
Y'all see how much they suck her dang butthole. It really irritates me so bad. So bad. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous how much they excuse her behavior.
Act like you're this poor little victim. You get up and you do it every day and you just...
Well, I told him too.
That's what y'all all do, is act like she's this poor little victim.
I was like, I sent him a long text. It was a long text. And, I bared my soul and I'm like, I have never had anyone to hold me accountable. My mother didn't do it. My mother was my biggest enabler. And so, that being said, the people that I have around me, especially Ken don't put up with my bullshit. He will call me out. He will correct me. And I don't put up with his bullshit either. That's why we make a good pair, is because we don't we don't sugarcoat it. We don't spare each other's feelings. If we want us to grow as individuals, we will tell each other how it is. So I was like, I never had anyone to hold me accountable. And that is the type of mindset that I have. So if I have a lack of accountability for things, I am working on it. I am going
Your mom tried to hold you accountable, and look what happened to her.
to work on it in therapy. But I want you to know that, my heart is in this relationship. It always has been. And I thank you for holding me accountable for the things that I've done wrong. And I won't always be in this stage of my life. I will grow from this. And I think that we have a strong relationship. We have a strong foundation. We've weathered a lot of storms together. Like, the divorce process was not easy. Going through this stuff with Ryan was not easy. We were together for 2 years while I was in prison. I got through my time, and then we got back together. Everything happened very fast. So to Dreamer's point and Sheena's point, yeah, and Bree's point, it's a completely different relationship now. And I'm going to make mistakes. He's going to make mistakes. I wasn't sitting pretty looking pretty on this last episode. But remember the first episode, everybody was hating on Ken for that Tana scene. Neither one of...
Everyone was hating on Ken for that Tana scene, for trying to get her to try new foods, and she didn't want to try them, so she went to the bathroom and boo-hoo cried. But then, Gypsy, you posted on your TikTok a video of you, Bree, and Sheena going out to Tana, saying, I'm going to get to eat whatever I want to this time, having a good old time, taking pictures, dancing around in front of the Tana sign with the two of them. So you made Ken look even worse as well, and I hope he realizes this. I hope he sees this now. But don't y'all think that something's going on for him to not be with her on Mother's Day, her very first Mother's Day? and for her to have to send this long text message of an apology, or what she thinks is an apology anyway. Don't y'all think that's odd behavior? Especially if they are stronger than ever?
None of us are perfect, but there's room for growth.
You know what, Gypsy? I'm on my third marriage. And I think I finally got the person that you're describing that Ken is for you.
Mm-hmm.
I finally got
All
that
right,
person.
Bayou boy. All right, Bayou boy.
It took me 3 tries, Gypsy.
I was petty.
Gypsy went on to say how she had no money in this live and how she only had pretty much, y'all hear that carefully, pretty much $50 in her account. And she was going to have to ask her dad for money this month, knowing that she's steadily getting gifts while on Bree's live. She's steady getting gifts. She gets gifts on her lives. She had her TV shows, her book. I mean, come on. What money are you going to ask your dad for? You mean out of the trust funds that they've opened for you to keep you out of trouble? While they're all making up excuses for her, she has people like this right here following her. This person saying, I graduate high school in 2 weeks, but congrats, I'm happy for you. And that's not the worst of it. This is a comment from a post that Gypsy posted on Mother's Day of Ken holding the baby. And Gypsy wrote, replying to someone asking if she was going to do a Mother's Day post because she posts everything else. And Gypsy said, sometimes insensitive matters, such as Mother's Day, should be kept more private. I didn't even know or expect Ken to post on his Instagram, but it was nice of him. Doesn't that sound like trouble in paradise, like something's going on? So the video of Ken doing his ice bucket challenge that Gypsy called him out to do after she done hers, someone wrote this, which gets back to the Seidel and PPD thing. Someone commented, I am a big fan of Gypsy Rose. I love the person that she is. I am a 14-year-old girl called, I think she's trying to say called Maya. I live in England. You're just an amazing person that just happened in my life. My heart goes out to you. That's the problem right there, Gypsy. You have people and kids of this age following you. And this was when you were monitoring all your comments and you felt that it was necessary and the right thing to do to post something or let this comment from a 14-year-old through simply because they were praising you. Because you wanted the attention, right? This is the problem because we lose preteens and teenagers and people every day to self-deletion. Every day. People suffer through depression every day. Gypsy. Come on, like I know you're a narcissist, but dang. People suffer through all different kinds of depression, and I would never try to speak on postpartum depression because I've never had it. But that is one type of depression, which is so serious. But for you, Gypsy, to claim that you had postpartum depression when it seems like you didn't, and you said that you didn't, and you admitted that you didn't have, and then now claim because everybody's calling you out, including just a little bit of mainstream media is calling you out. Now you're saying, oh, well, it was all because I had postpartum depression. Had, in past tense, had postpartum depression and was suicidal. Okay, let's look. So Dreamer made this video right after the end of the last episode of Gypsy's show, where it showed Ken walking into the jewelry store and Ryan going to take a paternity test and having his cheek swabbed. Dreamer made this video.
Ryan is being ridiculous. He knows it's not his baby, but wants to cause Gypsy trouble and try to say it's his, and that he's got to keep that baby with his last name forever, right? When he knows it's not his. Seriously? He has got a problem. And he needs a 5150.
A 5150. Really, Dreamer? Really? Ryan's the one with the problem? You were just that same live that I just showed y'all. Dreamer was actually in a live with Bree just the other day, right before that live that I just showed y'all, and she was actually bashing Ken and saying Ken shouldn't have given her an ultimatum. Ken shouldn't have treated her like that. And Bree told Dreamer, no, Dreamer, you don't know the ultimatums that Ryan gave her. Which, I don't know that Ryan really said that. Do y'all think that Ryan really said that with with everything that's going on? Because it also showed at the very end of the show, Ryan saying, she'll stay in Anderson if I'm the father. Exactly those words. If I'm the father, she'll stay in Anderson forever, I guess, if I'm the father. But he needs a 5150. For those of you who don't know, a 5150 is what it is called in most states. It's a 72-hour psychiatric hold. For people that are going through different things, even postpartum depression, things like that. It's for people who want to self-delete or are thinking about self-deleting. Any type of psychiatric problem that you're going through. It's where it gives the doctors are covered under the law to be able to admit you for 72 hours on a psych eval. That's what it is, a psych evaluation. And they hold you to make sure that you're safe so that you don't harm yourself or others. In the state of Louisiana, it is called a Physician's Emergency Certificate, a PEC, that allows a physician to hold a patient for 72 hours. Then after that, the coroner emergency certificate is needed, a CEC, which the coroner's office they then issue a CEC for a further examination and determination of the need for continued detention after the 72 hours are up. So what happens in the state of Louisiana, which, Gypsy, if you really are sidal, and you really want to play that card, that's your last card you got to play for attention, and you really want to say you're sidal, and if it's really not for attention, then we all need to be calling for a welfare check on you, so that they will hold you for 72 hours and do a psych eval on you. Seriously, to save your life, possibly. If you're not doing this for attention, and you really mean it. The coroner's office gets involved, which I know that can sound real weird to some people, but in the state of Louisiana, the coroner's office reviews the case after the PEC is issued from the physician for 72 hours. If the coroner's deputy agrees that the criteria for continued confinement are met, they can issue a CEC, a coroner's emergency certificate, which extends the confinement for up to 15 days. The coroner's evaluation is intended to provide an independent assessment separate from the initial physician's determination. This ensures that the continued detention is justified and that the individual's rights are being protected. The law outlines the procedures for issuing emergency certificates, including the requirement for a second examination by the coroner within 72 hours of the PEC. After that, a psychiatrist can come in and, if needed, admit you into a psychiatric hospital to stay even longer. Or if you walk in voluntarily and say, hey, something's wrong with me mentally or psychiatric, I'm having some type of psychiatric problem or something like that, or I'm feeling this way or that way or feeling suicidal or anything like that, and you walk in voluntarily, then a psychiatrist would be the one to see you and admit you in. Now, this is what I wanted to show y'all. This is the last couple things I wanted to show y'all and talk about. And again, I would never speak on postpartum depression because I've never had it personally. But if any of you have, y'all can talk about it in the comment section with us if you want to, if you feel comfortable enough to, all of that, which we hope we have a safe enough space here for y'all to do that. But postpartum depression, and keep in mind, the baby allegedly just turned 4 months old. GYPSY said that she was doing this a month after the baby was born because she had postpartum depression and was suicidal. Postpartum depression can persist for months or longer, potentially becoming a chronic condition if left untreated. While some symptoms may appear within a week of delivery, others can develop gradually, even up to a year later. About 5% of women experience persistent high levels of symptoms for up to 3 years after childbirth, according to the National Institute of Health. Now, one person in the comments asked GYPSY, "Are you and Ken okay after you confided in Ryan while going through postpartum?" GYPSY said, "We are solid," and this was just 2 days ago. GYPSY said, "We are solid. We have come a long way and have weathered many storms together." Are you really solid, though? Because we haven't heard from Ken. And you even said it was nice of him to make a post to you on your very first Mother's Day on Instagram. Then someone commented on GYPSY's video of her packing some sweatshirts, literally just like 5 sweatshirts into a box, and said that she was packing some sweatshirts or winter clothes and some stuffies for Aurora in a box to move. Someone said, "I'm 9 months postpartum. It was rough the first couple months. Watched the episode tonight. How are you feeling now? It comes and goes, it seems." GYPSY wrote, "Better. I think the worst is over. At least I'm not in pieces every hour like I was." So now that GYPSY's wanting to use this excuse and using the excuse of suicidal, which makes me so angry, and it made hubby so angry when we seen that, because people are lost every day due to things like that, due to suicidal. It really is a pandemic in this country. It's horrible. GYPSY says that now she's just all of a sudden all better. Just 4 months later, she's just magically all better. Postpartum depression is unlikely to resolve on its own within a month or two without treatment, or even 4 months without treatment. It can persist for months or even years if left untreated, potentially leading to long-term complications. Seeking professional help and treatment is crucial for managing postpartum depression. So do y'all think that GYPSY's playing her, quote, last card? Just like she played her only card she had against Nick? GYPSY? Are you playing your last card for attention? Because if you are, that is so serious and so wrong, and I really hope, and a lot of us really hope, that your parole officer does do his job. And we hope that by mainstream media picking up on this, finally, with you only having 30-something days left on parole, finally gets to the parole officer and he has to do his job and violate you for breaking the law and breaking parole, if you have, which we all know you have. What are y'all's thoughts on this, though? Do y'all think that GYPSY really has postpartum depression? Does she need a 5150? GYPSY, do we need to be calling in welfare checks for you? Since you say you're suicidal? Because postpartum depression, in my experience, doesn't just go away. And again, I've never had it, but I have seen people and had patience with it. So that's the only experience I've had with it, but it doesn't just magically go away within a few months on its own. But what are y'all's thoughts and opinions on that? And also, do y'all think Ryan really gave GYPSY that ultimatum from the beginning, where he said, where GYPSY claimed that Ryan said, you have to meet me for lunch or whatever, or she'll stay in Anderson forever, which it showed Ryan saying she'll stay in Anderson forever if I'm the father. Do y'all think Ryan really said that, though, with everything that's going on? And if so, do you think it was Ryan or GYPSY that was wanting to bring Aurora? Because we feel like if Ryan did say that, then GYPSY is probably the one that was wanting to bring Aurora and play house for a bit with Ryan, just so to speak, just to see what it would be like with Ryan if Ken left her. That's our opinions. But please leave y'all's thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Sorry that this video ran a little bit long. I hope y'all still enjoyed it and found it informative. And we'll see y'all in the next one. Again, if you're not already, please make sure you subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our videos. We do have part 2 of the parole video coming up. We promise it's coming up this week. And you're not going to want to miss it. We promise. So make sure you're subscribed and you have your notifications turned on. And we hope y'all have a good night and God bless. Bye.